This episode is brought to you by Pitbull and his blockbuster quote, "The grass always looks greener on the other side till you get to the other side."
Welcome to the Stephan Dyer podcast, my people.
Hello, my people. Welcome to the Stephan Dyer podcast, where I host people with remarkable stories for amazingly vulnerable conversations. Today, we have one of Toronto's finest, ladies and gentlemen. Itz Nico P is an award-winning MC, DJ, and events promoter. He's performed on stages with artists like Nicky Jam, Romeo, Santos, and co-produced the incredible Más Festival, just to name a few of his accolades. With thousands of events under his belt, the Argentinian Canadian strives to be the best entertainment icon in the city. And what I love the most about his story is his relentlessness and ability to make things happen regardless of all the noise. This guy is just incredible. From Flyer Boy to the city's top names, Nico P will leave you speechless. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to business. Please welcome Itz Nico P. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stephan Dyer podcast. I got the unbreakable, the unmistakable, the highly capable Nico P. Oh my God, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm incredible, man. This is, you got your coffee, you got your water.
Cafecito con leche.
I got my water. Listen, I got to tell you a true story. I'm at my dentist 2 days ago.
Okay.
And the lady who was helping me, who was doing my cleaning, she's like, "Oh, I saw you're interviewing, you interviewed Carlos Brito from Barrio." Yeah. And she's like, "I really like Nico P." And I'm like, "What? I'm interviewing Nico P in a couple of days."
Oh, no way.
And I'm like, "You know them?" And she's like, "Yeah. I went to high school."
Who's your dentist is the question.
I went to, he's going to be here too. Kenneth Montague, Dr. Montague, okay. Bloor and Bathurst, amazing. Word of mouth dentistry.
Dope.
And the lady is Chilean. She's incredible. And she listens to you, or she knows of you. She's seen you at parties or at weddings. Man, you're everywhere.
It's true. I'm like CP24. Breaking news. I'm everywhere.
It is incredible. So you are of Argentinian descent?
Yes, my parents are from Argentina. My dad came over when he was about 20 years old.
Born 1990, raised in Jane and Wilson.
Hey, no years here. No years. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, strong 30. 30.
Dude, you're in the 30 for 30 club. I was born in 1987. We're almost there. We're the same. What was it like to be raised in Jane and Wilson? I know that you went to this Uruguayan club. Everyone thought you were Uruguayan. You played soccer and you danced a lot.
Yes. How do you know all these things, man? You're just the book.
You're everywhere, man, on Google.
I'm good, just Google. Growing up, Jane and Wilson, I mean, which Latino didn't grow up in the hood? You know what I mean? If you didn't grow up in the hood, you are a not known Latino, and people want to know more about you. You're spontaneous. But I grew up at Jane and Wilson for many years. Played soccer my whole life. I mean, Argentinian descent. If you don't play soccer, what's going on? My dad played soccer his whole life. So the story comes down from my dad. So my dad played soccer here with many different teams. He was really good. And back in the day, they used to pay people to play soccer. A lot of people know, if they're watching and their dad played soccer in the Ecuadorian teams or Chilean teams, people were getting paid. Until my dad said, "You know what? I'm getting older. I'm not really for the competitive stuff. I just want to play to keep, my physique going." And he bumped into this team called Club Uruguay. Club Uruguay had almost every single category. Back in the day, it used to be, 92, 93 or 89, 90. So you kept growing with the same people and had the same team. So I played soccer almost my whole life for Club Uruguay, since I was like, the house league days, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What position did you play?
Midfield.
Yeah.
Midfield, number 10, but my favorite number was 11. But
I thought your favorite number was 69.
No, sometimes depends. No. Number 10 position, looking up to, Maradona, always.
Always.
I liked.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I like being the playmaker. I like sending those crosses, those through balls.
Yeah.
Obviously, you like scoring, but moving the ball forward. That was my thing, and you realize that after when you get a little bit older, when they ask you what position you want to play. But I played everything. I played, goalie. I played the chubby guy always goes in net. The chubby guy always goes in net. But yeah, no, it was awesome times. And then Club Uruguay, like they have so much. Like growing up, those I would say about almost 10 to 12 years in Club Uruguay were amazing because they just eat, breathe, sleep Uruguayan culture. So believe it or not, I'm Argentinian.
Yeah.
Many people know I'm Argentinian, but there's people till today that just meet me and they're like, "You're Argentinian?"
Like disappointed.
Yeah. Like you've been lying. You've been lying to me. So no, I am not Uruguayan. I do. Do everything that Uruguayans do.
Yeah.
For example, I played candombe. I sang. I was in La Murria. I did all that stuff. But I am full Argentine. Well, not full Argentine because I'm a Canadian,
Yeah.
I'm born here, but So shout out to Club Uruguay and anybody that's from the Club Uruguay era. Still cherish Club Uruguay in my heart always.
And then you moved to Woodbridge. Everyone thought you were Italian then.
Oof, Woodbridge. Yeah, that was a tough move.
What age did you move there?
I believe, if I remember correctly, I think I moved in grade 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I finished elementary in Woodbridge. Then I went to Holy Cross, the school right beside the soccer center, because that's the only way that people remember it, because soccer. So the high school beside the soccer center, that's where I went to high school. But all my friends still went to St. Basil's the Great, which was here at Weston and Shepherd. So I would bus it after school to come chill with my friends back in the hood.
Shout out Woodbridge. Shout out all the Italian
Shout
guys.
out my shooters, bruh. Let's smoke a dart right now.
Shout out Weston and Shepherd. But listen, I'm interested. This is great that I have you here because you are one of Toronto's finest, man. Everyone loves you. You get the party going, but I'm always interested. I tell my guests more in the process than the result. Everyone knows it's Nico P. Everyone knows Nico P. And but I'm super interested in how you got here. And I was talking to you the other day, and something really struck me, and I'm so happy you mentioned it. Is that your mom always had you dancing?
Yeah,
salsa, merengue, bachata, and in some ways, that's how you found your love for entertainment.
Correct. Yeah. Shout out to my mom. Mommy, I love you. I made it. I made it to the Stephan Dyer. Is it Stefan or is it Steven?
Stephan.
Okay, Stephan.
Everyone calls me Steven in English. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, the PH, I guess.
Yeah.
Se confunde la gente,
Sí,
tú
se
sabes.
confunde.
Okay. The Stephan Dyer. Mom, I'm here. Anyways, so since I was 4, I'd say, if I remember correctly, my mom loves music. Like, loves music. And obviously, like every Latino parent, Saturday, Sunday, just blasting music all day. And she made me listen to everything, man. Rock, MJ, Michael Jackson, one of the greatest, one of my idols. From salsa, merengue, bachata. And ever since I was 4, she just started teaching me how to dance. She would put me in like programs, like there was heavy community programs back in the day. And then she bumped into this guy who actually, he saw me dance because my mom put me in this show, kind of. I don't remember what show it was. I used to dance a lot for El Popular, the soccer trophy ceremonies.
Okay.
For when when I used to play as a kid, they used to do a ceremony, and then my mom kind of figured her way into letting me perform there. And then somebody saw me dance and then said, I want that kid part of my group. So he called my mom. I went to dance with this group. It was called Rhythmic Fire. Shout out to Martin Samuels. If you watch this, thank you.
Shout out Martin.
Yeah, shout out to Martin.
I think I know him. Wasn't he at the Pan American Food Fest?
That's
he
the
was
guy.
Teaching.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
So he picked me up when I was young, and he molded me into convincing me pretty much to always be the only guy, because guys didn't want to dance back in the day. But I loved it, man. I loved dancing.
And that's why I love that part of your story so much, because I think I've mentioned this before, but the only thing I regret from high school is not joining theater. Because sometimes coming from Latin America, or it's like macho culture, like, oh, you do theater, you're gay, or you dance, you're gay, or whatever. And I always wanted to do it, and I was just like kind of afraid of what people would say. But I love dancing, and I wish I would have learned at a young age like you.
Yeah, honestly, it was amazing. I never really got that gay thing. I got laughed at, but at the end of the day, man, like, I mean, it is what it, like, I can't thank my mom enough.
Yeah.
Like, especially now, like, now that I'm 30, I look back and, like, dude, I can tell you, like, my 10 years, my 20 to 30, I think I could probably, in every club that I stepped into, I had a lineup of girls waiting to dance with me because they knew I can dance.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because, I mean, half of my friends, they're all Latino. They don't know how to even dance the bachata. You know what I mean? So, thank you, Mom. Thank you.
I think that's a great misconception.
Yeah, 100%.
First of all, nothing wrong with the LGBTQ community.
No.
And then second of all,
if anything, I love those guys.
Oh yeah, me too. I had to like learn here, like drunk at the party.
The tequila was tough.
Yeah, and then a couple, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, I went to like a couple of drop-in salsa classes, you know, like at Blur and at Spadina and Blur, and in the summer, those were outdoor. But I always wanted to do it, but that's what a lot of people and Canadians don't understand or think, is that they think all Latinos dance.
No.
Which in some way was really good for me because whatever shitty thing I did at the beginning, they were like, oh, salsa. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll take it.
You were the instructor at the drunk parties. I see. I see. Yeah,
Exactly.
Man, honestly, dancing has been a big part. It's still a big part. And especially the roots, man. Just like knowing how to dance every single genre. Growing up, weddings, quinceañeras, you know, just being able to enjoy every moment, and even just dancing with my mom. Like, I enjoy dancing now, like, so much, because it's an incredible thing. It's art through dance. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. So I love it.
And you can connect with all of your audiences in different ways. Obviously, you're an incredible MC, but you can also dance. You can also hype up the crowd. You can also you make people laugh when you DJ and when you MC. So you have all these tools in your arsenal that you can use depending on how the party's going.
Exactly.
And because of your experience, you kind of learn how to read the audience as soon as even before you start doing it, you're already observing people. And I say it because there's a lot of parallels between comedy and MCing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, dancing is always part of my show. Because I can dance, like
and do
you
the
can.
worm.
You can. How do you know what the worm too? Yes. True or false? I can do the worm. It is true. I can do the worm. Yeah, man. Like, even like you can ask Carlos. I busted it down on stage at the Más Festival, and people just love it, man. And like I say, like, one thing that I carry with me is, like, I don't care if you're laughing at me or with me. Like, I'm no physique guy. I don't go to the gym. Like, I'm comfortable in my body. I think that's the most important thing.
Authenticity over perfection.
Exactly. I'm comfortable in my body, and like I said, like, when it comes, sometimes I'm just a clown, man. I just want people to laugh and enjoy themselves. So, like I say, one of my theories is, whether it's on stage, at a wedding, or at a club, and I'm on the spotlight, which I absolutely love. Like, I'm not shy about it. It's either you're laughing with me, you're laughing at me, but the main goal is that you're laughing. That's it.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that, because at the end of the day, you want people to go to their houses, and the next day when they open the fridge or they're turning on the TV, you want them to be like, that fucking Nico guy. Such a great guy.
We can swear. I love it.
Yeah, it's like an incredible guy.
That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, or you want them to, in my case, man, that joke from that comedian guy, Steph, was really good.
Yeah, they remember and they say it to their friends, and that's how it works. And even with me, like, weddings, for me, I always pretend that it's my first wedding. It's like a thing that I do. Like, maybe I call it like a routine or a little ritual, but every time I go to a wedding, I make sure that I leave 150% like it's the first time that I'm doing it. Yeah. Because I never want to feel, or want the bride and groom to feel like they've seen this before, but they have seen it before.
Yeah.
But I always convince them and tell them, like, I'm going to make your wedding the best wedding that people have ever been to. And till this day, thank God, gracias a Dios, it's been nothing but positive vibes. And people are like, yo, I've seen you at like 6 weddings and you just keep pulling it out of your pack.
Yeah, you want people to feel like you're still excited to do it.
Exactly.
Not after like 600 times, like the guys, like some comedians come and they're like, oh, I don't want to be, like their body language says that they don't want to be.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
And I like Maya Angelou's quote in our comedy classes. We always share this. In our public speaking through comedy classes, Maya Angelou's quote that it says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
That's true.
And man, we always carry that with us in all the workshops that we do, because at the end of the day, they won't remember exactly what you said on the mic and what you did, but they'll be like, "Fuck, man, that guy, I want him at my wedding." You know?
Exactly.
And people like making them smile, especially after 2020, is incredible.
Yeah.
So up until age 16, 17, you were always dancing.
Yeah.
Hanging out at El Mercado Latino. Shout out Weston and Melvin.
Melvin, Mercadito.
and then this is what Carlos, shout out Barrio, told me. You started, shout out Barrio. You started flyering and even promoting at 16, 17. How was that? How did you start?
Yeah, so again, family is a big thing for me. Literally, I can be honest with you, like, I get jealous sometimes, but it's okay. All my friends have these big families, like cousins, second cousins, and family gatherings for them is like 30, 40 people.
Yeah.
My family gathering is 4. That's my core. That's my team. That's my squad. You know what I
missed
mean?
that from Latin America.
And so I never really grew up, but my family supported me through everything.
Yeah.
Bumpy roads, obviously, when I started getting older, which is one of the biggest reasons I am who I am today. But my sister, man. Shout out to my sister.
What's her name?
Soledad.
Shout out Sol.
Shout out Sole. She was actually partying, promoting, and getting paid to party. It was hard to understand what my sister
kind of runs
would
in
do.
the family. You just make things happen.
No, 100%. Like my sister, like everybody knows my sister if it's in the era of, because she was born in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knows my sister because she is the smallest yet the loudest out of the group, and she is she's funny as hell, and everybody loves her, and I think that's where I get my comedy, my fun from her, because she's just amazing. She just lights up the room. So everybody knows her, and she used to go by this alibi name, which is Confundida.
Oh, that's really clever.
Yeah, so back in the day, Toronto Hispano, shout out to Toronto Hispano, they used to have a forum. Everybody met each other through that. So almost like Facebook, what we have today, right? Like Facebook and now Instagram. Back in the day here in Toronto, it was Toronto Hispano. There was a forum. People used to create alibi names, but then they used to meet at the clubs. It was crazy. So everybody knew my sister, and then she was kind of like, she always knew the people bringing the artist. So she would just in the beginning, she would just help out a friend, right? Flyer, put up posters, this and that. But then it became almost like a job. Like I used to go out with my sister at like 2, 3 in the morning around Jane and Wilson, Jane and Shepherd, Weston and Shepherd, all the main area Latinos were at. I remember amazing time when Chrissy Angel and who was it?
Ben baila.
When that song blew up, but I think it was Zaina Lennox and Chrissy Angel. They brought them to the docks. Remember when Rebel used to be called the docks?
Yeah.
I remember
by Polson Pier.
Exactly. I remember postering that concert.
No way.
Driving around with glue in the back, posters, and we would glue the posters on every single corner, bus stop, everything like that. That was the most vivid memory. But from there, I started doing clubs. So shout out to my sister. From there, I got my license at 16. I started doing them on my own. I couldn't get into the club, but I was like, I liked it. I liked going out late.
Yeah.
And I was getting paid for it. So just imagine 1 event, 2 event. I'm going out for the flyer run anyways. So just give me your flyers. So whether it was 7, 8 concerts going on, I was getting paid from each concert to flyer.
Yeah.
So I made it a business until I turned 17, 18, when I used to be snuck into the clubs.
And you seem like you seem like I know that you're very good with people, and naturally, flyering, it gives you a really good excuse to talk to people, invite people.
I loved it.
And you always have something to propose. Was there like a specific moment between age 16, 21, whatever, where you were like, man, I'm fucking good at emceeing? Like a specific moment or a specific person telling you, Nico, you should pursue this, man. You're the fucking guy.
Oh,
Do you remember a specific moment, or was it progressively where you were like, I kind of like this?
no. MCing itself, it was never really, I'd say, like, boom. You know what I mean? Because I was already singing. Like, I was never shy, right? So I was already singing with Clue to White. Like, I was singing at the age of 8, dancing, all that stuff. So I would say my moment was at Las Brisas. Shout out to Las Brisas. And I was with DJ Danny Castro. The person running the night were my sister's best friends. Shout out to Cesar and shout out to Tatu. They gave me the opportunity and said, like, you're the next guy. Like hands down, it's gonna happen. And that's when I'm like, this is my lane, and I'm gonna stay in it, because everybody wanted to be a DJ. Nobody wanted to pick up the mic. So when I saw that, I'm like, I'm just gonna stay here for a bit. I got no competition. So it was me and Danny Castro. Blast Fridays. Las Brisas only legally holds 475 people. But we had like 700 people with a lineup outside. It was crazy.
Wow.
That was, for me, that was like, holy shit. I'm 19 years old, and this is what I'm rocking. And then from there, I think that those were my moments where I was like, you know. And then, believe it or not, my best friend now, at the moment, I didn't like him. It always happens, right? It's weird.
Yeah.
Do you ever have those moments where you hate somebody, but or not hate, but you like dislike somebody, or you heard things about them?
Yeah.
Anyways, I dislike this guy. He goes by the name of Chris Doma, my best friend now.
Yeah, he talked to me the other day about listening to the podcast.
So yeah, Chris Doma. And in the beginning, it was jealousy. That's what it was. It was jealousy because he was the DJ for the all ages. And I'm like, yo, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be in that position. So I had dislike for him. But he heard about me. He heard what I was doing at Las Brisas. And at that time, when I turned 19, he was getting together a crew to keep going, because all the all ages, they were all turning 18, 19.
Oh, okay.
So that's where my whole first experience of being part of a team came in, which was New Star Entertainment. Shout out to New Star. Shout out to Chris Doma. Shout out to Pablo. Shout out to Ron. That was the break. That was the, it's going up from here.
Yeah.
That's like, and then the stories I can tell you about that, man. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I know Chris Toma. He's a great guy. I talked to him the other day.
I love you, Chris.
Great guy. And so you continue growing your career, and now I want to jump to you making it happen. And this is a quote by Carlos. I was talking to Brito the other day, shout out Barrio, and I'm like, dude, it seems like Nico is obviously special. He's like different. He's like, bro, he just makes things happen. And then he was like, not the other day, but like a couple months ago or a couple years ago, he's like, I'm gonna throw a huge party in Wasega. And then Brito was like, what are you doing? Like, why? And then out of nowhere, he just like got in 700 or 1,000 people, made like 10 G's in no time. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, you decided. How do you get these ideas, and where do you get your confidence that you can just throw up 700-person party? I don't know, because you're not even from Wasega.
No, I'm definitely
really,
not from Wasega.
You didn't even know that many people there.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, shout out to Brito, first of all, because Carlos is hilarious. If his laugh doesn't make you laugh, I don't know what does. But yeah, no, you know what it is? It's just my never ending mind, man.
Relentless.
I just, it's a go thing for me. Like, if it sounds like a good idea and there's a plan behind, like, I was reckless before. Like, before I had many ideas, but I didn't have a plan. When I started noticing that I needed a plan, which was around, obviously, like, you know, my younger years, 25, 24.
Yeah.
When you have a plan of execution and you follow the steps and not just do something spontaneous, and you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
nothing can stop you. So yeah, that's what I did with my best friend, DJ Mechon. We are your favorite duo. Shout out your favorite duo. Me and Mechon said, what do we do to throw our own party? Because when we did the Wasaga thing, we were still known as just your favorite duo from the club, but we didn't just want to be that. We wanted to be responsible for putting the party together. We wanted to be the go-to guys. We wanted to be the movers and shakers of the industry, right? So we sat down, we put everything on paper that we learned over the years, and we said, okay, we need to get promoters, we need to get a cut, we need to give promoters some money, we need to get people up there, we need to do all this stuff. And it started with May 2 for a long weekend. That's technically still in everybody's head the biggest weekend to start off the summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it kind of started with the boat cruise. Like shout out to Barrio did his boat cruise, but me and Mechon were like, yo, Barrio did a boat cruise, we can do a boat cruise. Like everybody knows us. Yeah. It's just a connecting network. Like people just want to have fun.
And they trust you can provide that fun.
Exactly. So when they have that connection with you, which I've had through the years, like even now, like most of my friends are married or people I've gotten married, right? They still go out once in a while. So to feel that love from them, to say like, you get the call or you get a text like, whoa, bro, you still alive? Or, hey, girl, what's up? And they say, yo, Nico, I'm going out tonight. Where do I go?
100%.
That's what keeps me motivated, man, because it's like I'm the plug. Like Nico knows where to party or where to go. So, going from the boat cruise to Wasaga, I did 1,000 people. Wasaga, that was crazy. The venue couldn't even believe it. The owner's like, come back, please. Did a beginning of summer and the summer party at Wasaga. Both times plus 700 people. The first time was incredible. Second time was a little bit chilly, but we still did 750. Yeah. And yeah, man, just those ideas just keep going, don't stop. So it's a go-getter mentality. Yeah.
You're definitely that guy in the group of friends. That guy who knows a guy.
Yeah.
I can call Nico. I need to go to Mozambique tomorrow. He's like, I know a guy.
I swear to God. Trust me, if you're listening to this podcast, give me a call. I might know the guy. True story, though. True story. I have a friend. Send me a message. I haven't talked to him in about a couple of months. Italian guy. And my buddy's like, hey, what's up? Because I send out blasts, right? Like when I go live and stuff like that, I send out blasts. She was like, hey, bro, hope everything's good. Classic Italian guy. Hope everything's good. I follow you, this and that. Keep it up. Love the Latin tunes, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. How you been? Quick chat because I'm not that dry guy. Like, I like being still connected. Even if I don't talk to you for 3 months, you send me a message. I like conversation. So I said, how you been? How you doing? He's like, yeah, man, I got a new girlfriend, this and that, because I know he had a past experience. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, where's she from? She's Ecuadorian. Oh, wow. Spanish girls. You love Spanish girls. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, do I know her? And he's like, nah, she doesn't go out. She doesn't go to the clubs. I said, okay, all right.
What's her name?
I said, if she doesn't go to the clubs, I obviously don't know her. Lie, I know everybody. So I said, okay, cool. Congratulations. Hope everything works out. Less than 24 hours, I knew the girl.
No.
And I said, I've known your girl for freaking 12 years, bro. Nobody's hiding from me.
I know.
Everybody knows Nico P, and Nico P knows everybody. So that's hilarious.
You have a voice that communicates credibility. And because I'm a public speaking coach, and I study this a lot and I read a lot, obviously, your type of voice is the voice for radio, people who read the news on live television and on radio. It's good to have that voice because statistically it communicates credibility, and it also, that tone calms people down. Like, they trust you. And in some ways, it ties into my next point, because when you guys, when you and Carlos produced Más Festival, and you brought Justin Quiles for that huge party. When Carlos was here at the podcast, he told me that Justin Quiles missed his flight.
Yeah.
And
I almost panicked.
But when Carlos told the story, he was like, he saw you and you looked kind of worried. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And you were like, don't worry. And he's like, no, I worry, bro. What's going on?
Yeah.
But then he said that you just took care of it. Like,
That's it.
I'm like, I would have fainted. Like, I got 3,000, 5,000 people coming, and the main artist is like missed his flight. So how do you manage these situations? Or have you had other blowouts that have really allowed you to just stay calm under pressure?
Believe it or not, it's called the book of experience. I've done it so many times that I'm already expecting the worst, but I already have plan B. Like the ladies take plan B. I got plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all the way to Z. No, man, honestly, it's funny because...
You know a guy, you know a pilot. And then he brought just in case.
Believe it or not, I actually do know a pilot. And he's Colombian. Shout out to my boy Andres, which flies Osuna, Yandel, everybody, private jet. He's got the hookup. He's my plug. But no, honestly, it's... I think you're right. Like the way you expressed it. One, I love radio, broadcasting.
Yeah.
It's been a dream of mine. Like my idol is Alex Sensation. Like that's my all-time position to be at. But yeah, man. Like Carlos was so funny that day. I said, don't worry, man. It's gonna happen. Like this is gonna happen. Just like he says. Like I'm the guy. It's gonna happen, guy. It's me. He missed his flight. He was supposed to be on a flight at 9:15. Classic artist move. I knew it was going to happen. He wasn't going to make it. He got on the afternoon flight and he landed like 6:30, which he wasn't going to be on stage till like 9. So that's his problem, not mine. He has to be here. We have a contract. If not, I get my money back. Business is business. As much as famous you can be. And I've experienced it with many artists. I've experienced it with high guys. I've been low guys. It's just part of the business, man. It's just like, for example, you're not going to stress if you're at a comedy show and you're not on the clock. Like, why stress? Don't point stress. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
pasa lo que pasa.
100%. I get it. But in practice, I would have freaked out.
Yes.
Because it's not, okay, the guy didn't show up. Fine. Like, you and me can work it out. But there's fucking 3,000 people coming.
Yeah.
And who do they know? They know Nico P and Carlos.
The blame game.
The blame game. 100%. And they're like, fuck these guys. They took my money or whatever. Like, they promoted this. Well, luckily, everything worked out.
No, 100%. Yeah.
And that was one of the most incredible days of the summer. Obviously, not 2020 because...
2019, man.
2019. And when I was talking to... I did a pre-interview, obviously, with you, but with Carlos, because Carlos is a good friend of yours. And I was like, when have you seen Nico P, like, the most excited? Because you accomplished so much. You've performed in front of 1,000 people. Like, you did Nicky Jam, you did Romeo. And I'm like, sometimes the hype, like, it's exciting, but it doesn't feel as incredible anymore because... you're used to the adrenaline in some ways.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when have you seen him the most excited? And he was like, bro, I was leaving the Más Festival and I looked back and Nico was just standing on the platform on the stage. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm just soaking it in, man. This was incredible. What did that mean for you, the Más Festival?
Little tear in my eye. Yeah. Más was heavy for me. Más was a shift. It was like a soul shifting moment, and the reason is because I did Nicky Jam. I was part of the team. I was on stage, thousands of people, but I wasn't responsible for that.
Yeah, that's big.
There's other people, bigger people. Yes, we were the local team that worked, and people knew I was a part of it. But I wasn't Live Nation. Live Nation takes credit for that. Yeah. Más Festival, this was two guys with a dream or an idea. And the fact that I was part of the production team, of the sound team, of the performing team, of the marketing team, of everything. Me and Carlos put months of work. And it's funny because when we initially did this with Carlos, I told Carlos, I said, you have no idea what we're putting. No, for real. Like, Carlos would laugh just like you. I swear to God. You can ask Carlos. Call him after the interview. He had no idea everything that you had to do. He just thought, like, let's just throw a festival and it's like that. I said, bro, you need to even write down on a piece of paper what time these guys land, what time you're taking them to the hotel, what time they shower, what time they eat, what time, everything. And not only for the artists, but everybody else. And it's crazy the amount of work. And people don't understand. Like, I get it. Why would you care? You're just a client, right? But it's also like understanding the position of the person. That's why everything, it was empty. It was done. We finished Más Festival. So to get up on the stage and the production team left the lights on so they can see what they were cleaning up.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was honestly an incredible feeling. That sign of like, I did it.
I can relate in some ways because last year, 1 week before the pandemic, we organized Latin Comedy Fest at Regent Theater, and it was 400 people capacity for 2 nights. We filled it out, and it was 18 comics from 11 different countries. We flew a lot of our friends from Comedy Central and Latin America to come perform with us.
Dope.
And we'd had this idea for like 4 years. Yeah. And we tried it last year, but we couldn't do it because of a variety of things. And we finally did it. And we had to fly people in, the Airbnb tickets,
everything,
production, some visas, like promoting Eventbrite tickets, like the artists driving them.
Yeah, drivers. Crazy.
Where you go, like they have to go eat, the contracts.
And they're all calling
the
you.
Writer. And the theater, the production. I mean, the guy with the lights, like it's so much.
Yeah.
So when I came back, and Liam, my son, had just been born. My wife, like it was my mom had flown, like she flew here, but she had already left, and so my wife was here, first baby for us. It was stressful, but man, when we pulled that off, I was just like dead, but so happy.
So happy. Yeah. No, it's honestly, it's a different. It's like a body movement, man. Like it's a shift.
And you set a precedent.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You set a level for yourself. Like it's honestly, like I said, Más Festival was something that I had in mind only because I experienced a Latin Fest, and ever since we lost Latin Fest, I said like our breed cannot die. Like we just keep growing. Like Latinos keep growing.
Latin Fest?
For real, Latin Fest, Stephan? Latin Fest was done at Canada's Wonderland. They brought Ivy Queen. They brought DLG.
What year was this?
This was back in like, I would say, 2005 to 2010.
Oh, I hadn't even I wasn't even in Toronto, in Ontario.
Oh, okay, there you go. So, Latin Fest was done at Canada's Wonderland, the biggest theme park that we have. Yeah. Biggest stage, biggest artist. Like, it was the shit. Like, people used, like... So the arena holds, not the arena, sorry, the stage holds, Kingwood Theater holds 15,000 people.
Wow.
And I would probably say there was about 10,000 Latinos from all age groups because you can experience the park and then the shows. And not only the park, the water park. So if it was a super hot day, it was like in the middle of July. Imagine, Juliana just comes out, Kimbara by DLG, Ivy Queen drops Quiero Bailar. Like, they were hot artists coming to the show, and it was amazing. Like, you see all your friends and people repping with their flags. You had the airbrushed hats that they used to do at Canada's Wonderland, the airbrushed shirts. You know, back in the day, you used to dress with like a cholo, and you used to wear the rosary. Like, it was honestly, the rosary, the white shirt of the rosary, long tee. It was honestly an incredible experience. And ever since they stopped that, it was a dream of mine of bringing it back. And I said, I'm going to do it. I just don't know when, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I got that call from Brito and I said, boom, this is it. Let's do it. Don't even think twice. We're doing it. And this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to cater to both crowds. We're going to do urban and classic. We did Jan Collazo from Orquesta Guayacan. You know, amazing singer, amazing guy, so humble. So shout out to Jan Collazo. And then Jay Quiles, man. Jay Quiles is one of my guys, man. Shout out to Jay Quiles. He's still doing fire. Yeah, so
he's killing it these days.
Yeah.
When I think of you and in your evolution as an artist, an MC, and a DJ, I in some ways want to congratulate you. I told you this the other day because you're a man of the people. You know so many people, and you make things happen clearly that it'd be so easy for you to go the wrong way and
definitely
just start like selling drugs or whatever,
100%.
And at the club, I imagine that people come up to you and they're like, "Hey, do you know who's selling this, or do you want this?" Because if you're killing it now, people want to be your friend or whatever. They're having a crazy time. They invite you to the after party, and why haven't you? And why have you stayed the good course? I don't want you to go into that course.
I mean, if you want.
But it deserves a lot of credit, man, because it'd be so easy for you to start just selling drugs, or do other things.
In the entertainment, there's everything's involved, man.
Yeah.
And even in the artist life.
100%.
But have I thought of it twice? Of course. 100%, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You talk, I mean, I talk to some people. I know they do stuff like that. I could have made quadruple what I've made, in a month. Honestly, it's the love that I have. Like, I tell people ask me, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you do it so good? How do you do it with that energy?
You don't stop, man. It's incredible.
It's honestly, and I say, when you don't love what you do, it's just a job. This is not a job for me.
Yeah.
This is my passion. I love doing it. And not only do I do it for myself, I do it for the people, for the community, for the Hispanics, for anybody around the world that speaks Spanish. That's what I feel that I do it for. And the whole drug thing, I mean, who hasn't tried something once? I had to. I was in the entertainment. I'm still in the entertainment. I'm not that old. Am I old? I'm not that old. I'm still in the entertainment district. And I've seen everything. I've been to after parties. Growing up, you need. I think the best thing that my dad's taught me is that you need to know. If you don't know, you're gonna be curious.
Yeah.
So yes, have I had my moments where I did stuff? Of course. If you didn't, I mean, good for you. I've done it. I've done it all. The only thing I haven't done was inject a needle in my body. But I've tried everything, and I've seen the results, and I've seen people stay on it.
Yeah.
And that's not where I want my life to go. Shout out to everybody that, if you're recovering. But it's like, that's not who I wanted to be. And I never wanted to change who I was, because it affects you. So being in the club, being in those moments, 100% people come up to me and be like, "Yo, you know anybody?" Of course, I'm Nico P. I know everybody. I know who's shifting and who's moving and who's doing what. I even know the person dancing bachata in the back corner was somebody that I'm not supposed to be dancing with. That's the stuff that, makes you think twice, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes money could I feel like money comes and goes.
Yeah.
And that's why I love what I do. It's not about the money. Over the years, I've gone from charging $50, when I started, and to now I'm charging over $1,000. But it's the book of experience, right? Like, there's knowledge in my head. So yeah, man, like I lived my 20s. They were amazing. I never let it overpower me, because I love entertaining, and I love the happiest feeling that I get entertaining people is knowing that they come to a club or an event that I do, and I'm behind the decks or on the mic, and you're not going to the club to remember the day you had. You're going to the club or the event to forget about the day you had. And you're going to drink your ass off, or you're going to dance your ass off, whatever the case may be. So being a part of that happiness for those 3-4 hours that you enjoy with Nico P, or your favorite duo, or whoever's entertaining, whether it's any other DJ in the city, that's motivating for me. Like that.
Yeah.
That's my drug.
And you can't take it for granted, because the second you become too comfortable with it, or you take it for granted, or you're like, no, drugs can't fuck with me, like I'm better, like, I think you lose, man.
Yeah.
Like I used to, like, I've never done drugs, for example, but I used to drink a lot.
Yeah.
And I would, when I started my comedy career, I would drink just to relax before the show.
Of course.
And I would, like, one time I forgot my material, and I was like, never again. Never again. So for like the last 5 years, I never drink before my shows.
I drink a lot.
And yeah, I mean, but whatever works, whatever works. And like your shifts are a lot longer. Like I'll be on stage for 45 minutes to an hour sometimes.
Yeah.
Or maybe half an hour, 15 minutes, depending on the night.
Set, yeah, of course.
But like maybe you like it's self-awareness and knowing what you need to perform best.
Yeah.
And the other thing that happened to me is that because alcohol relaxes you in some ways, to me it would like slow me down and I couldn't be like very spontaneous. And
for what you had to do.
For what I had to do.
Exactly.
So I needed to know my material, which I knew very well. But if because I do a lot of crowd work and they reply and everyone's seeing and you need to be witty, on your feet, quick, and then go back to someone that. So if I'm not on my game, I'm a little slower. So I decided to stop drinking before my shows.
Cheers to you, man.
And it's helped me. It's helped me significantly. On the other hand, when I finish, like I love to have a beer.
That's it.
A beer and just enjoy the show.
I think you said it best. Obviously, I've had my nights where I get totally wasted, but at the end of the day, like I'm in a nightclub. There's obviously nights where I just don't want to drink at all, but it's so hard because people come party with you and like you got them in for free or you put them on the guest list or there's something that they wanna they owe you from last time, so. It's like I've tried many times, and not saying that I'm not a tough guy, but I tried many times to like not drink, and I had a water bottle, but just people are just they're so nice, man. You know what I mean? They're like, no, like you gotta have a shot with me because you hooked me up last time, like just do it for me. But there's a lot of them. You know what I mean? So one guy I said no to one guy. I had a shot with the other one because he's like, come on. And then the other guy's like, yo, you had a shot with him and not with me? What's up? So, man, it's honestly like now that I'm 30, I mean, I left that kind of like get drink to forget everything. I casually drink. So every weekend, even now on the virtual stuff, I have my drink because it relaxes you. It relaxes you. It gets you in a mood, and like it's just groovy, man. Like it's like some people smoke weed just to get that vibe. Even to go out, they smoke a spliff or a blunt. So what I mean. Not to say that alcohol is my motivation, but it gets me in the groove. It gets me relaxed, and believe it or not, it actually brings out a different character, just like everybody, a lot of people use alcohol because like they don't know how to dance or they want to have a good time or whatever the case may be. So just to get me in the groove, I have my 1-2 drinks, and then I start DJing, start emceeing or whatever the case may be. Like it's a ritual for me to cheers with my partner, whoever's the DJ, usually Mechon or JQ when I do weddings and stuff. Yeah. Right before I start the show, where the reception, when you introduce everybody, we have to have a shot together just to like let's chill. We got this. You know what I mean? Like
it's really good to do that because for me, it's that moment. I have the same moment, but I do it in a different way. It's slow things down so that you can.
Exactly.
And now you're ready.
USA.
Yeah.
It's the USA.
So I start all my shows with one-liners, which are shorter jokes. Yeah. So that I can breathe in between, get people like laughing, not like but just like little like gradual chuckles. Yeah. And I start like a conversation with the audience, crowd working. When I'm good, okay, let's fucking go. Exactly. But if you don't have your breathing well and you're not confident and you're not like chilling, it's gonna be a hard ride to transition to the real rhythm of the performance.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. It's happened. I mean, out of the 5 billion times that I performed, whether it was a wedding or event, I probably had like 2 mishaps. Like I have so much control over my mind. And like I said, like my mind is such a go-getter mind that like nothing's stopping me. Like nothing. Like I open those doors and I see that light, whether it's a stage, it's a banquet hall, whether it's a room of 20 people. Like I've done weddings of 10 people and I rock that shit. And people are like, how? Like, there's 10 people here. How do you just kill it? And I'm like, it doesn't matter if there's 10 or 10 billion.
It's still an audience.
It's still an audience. You still got to do what you got to do, man.
I would argue that in comedy, an audience of 10 is harder than an audience of 600. Or
definitely. Oh my God.
It's like intimate, man. You got to look in people's eyes. And sometimes you learn from the failures more than the success, Yep. When I was talking to you the other day, you told me that one of the moments that you remember the most that could be perceived as a failure, but it was a huge learning experience, was that when you were 19, you threw a huge concert, 24 Horas in Bachata Heights.
Damn, you went through the books, bro.
and you didn't make enough money to pay it back.
Yeah.
This was over a decade ago. What did you learn from that experience?
To be honest, it was first it was like our first big event.
Yeah.
Like first big event as New Star, when I was mentioning New Star earlier. And to know that people had a great time, but again, like I said, people don't know the background stuff. It was hard. It was definitely hard. I believe that I've never been depressed.
Yeah.
But I did feel, like I said, just like I felt like the emotional swing on Más, this made me feel an emotional way, because now it's like, okay, cool, I did an event, people had a great time, but now it's down to business.
Yeah.
And I don't got that. So what happens now, right? So it's like, fuck, what the hell do I do? But thankfully, the mentality that I have, the passion, the drive, and the people around me, like our team was like, we got to work. Like we got to do something else to cover. You know what I mean? Because obviously there was a lot of investors and stuff, and we had to give back the money because it wasn't ours. But we did what we did, man. Like I said, like there's moments in your life where not everything goes as planned. Like that's what I'm saying. Like now the things that I do, I go back to that time.
Yeah.
And I said, how do I not repeat that? And I never have repeated that because I've always been back to that time.
Yeah.
So I cover A to Z. How do I not go back to feeling that way? Because I need to get over it. You know what I mean? So
on to the next one.
That's it. Like that's what it is. I failed here. Use that experience. Next event, murder it.
Yeah.
And get back on top. And that's it.
I was talking to Luis Diego Hernandez from episode 7. He's a sports psychologist. And he shared a stat that professional tennis players like Novak Djokovic, Federer, Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, they've lost more in their careers than they've won.
Of course.
And that was a huge eye-opener for me, because to make it there, it's not just chilling. Oh, I was born for that. No, you have to learn along the way.
Everything.
And I think your relentless personality is not just because you were born like that. It's like you've been learning along the way, and that makes you a better winner along the way, because you've been taking lessons from here, lessons from there, and that just increases your probabilities that the next event that you put on is going to be like so much more successful.
Plus 50%, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and that really speaks to the fact that you continue to reinvent yourself, continue to do amazing things in your core, but now you launched Oye Latinos app, which, dude, I download. I was impressed, man.
Thank you.
It's
man.
so well organized. Like the graphic design is incredible. The coloring, it looks professional, easy to navigate.
Yeah.
And I listened to your mix, the reggaeton mix. Man, it was fucking incredible.
Thank you, man.
I listened to some of the podcasts. The Stephan Dyer podcast is on there as well.
Bam, 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 bam.
And what I like the most is that you've made sure that you help the mom and pop shops.
Yes.
So that despite the pandemic,
correct,
they can continue to grow and be well known.
Yeah. Fast forward to my life now, Oye Latinos is the baby. You know, you have that project in the books.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, like you and Juan were planning it for 4 years, but it never happened. But when it happened, it was epic.
Yeah.
This project was in the vault. And I had a friend of mine I guess spark something in me that said, like, you know, let's start working on it. And we did. Believe it or not, Oye Latinos in the beginning was an entertainment app. That was the idea. It was just going to be promoting events because it was in my field, selling tickets to events. Any event that was happening, you were going to find it on the Oye Latinos app. But
it
then
has that entertainment vibe because
yes,
even if I'm looking at a realtor, I'm like, I want to party with this realtor.
exactly.
It's like the graphic design, the pictures.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like it just like motivates you to press, like to hit the button to call them.
So it's honestly like strategic. It's all strategic. Even like, for example, not a lot of people know this, but in branding, if you're a designer, you know what colors represent.
Yeah,
Bold, happiness, entrepreneurship.
totally.
So Oye Latinos is an orange, which is powerful.
Yeah.
And like that's why these big brands like McDonald's, H&R Block, they use specific colors in their logos because that's what it represents.
The banks as
exactly.
well, yeah.
So this whole app was supposed to be entertainment, and then honestly, I shit you not, I had a dream, and I woke up one day and I said, "What the fuck was that?" I read up on it. And it was something that was trying to like, it was an idea, but it wasn't clear to me yet. And when I was sitting down with the team, this is almost I'd say not the beginning of the pandemic, but it was more so like we knew something was gonna happen, and I said, "Fuck! If this shit goes down, our app is shit," because who the hell is downloading an app that has events?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if the pandemic goes down, I know a guy who can get rid of the pandemic.
I know that guy too. No, no, it was it was already thinking in advance, and that's something that you gain over the years. It's knowing what's going to happen next. So Plan B was already in effect. Plan B on Oye Latinos was in effect because this was supposed to be an app for entertainment, events, ticket selling, promotion. That's all. That's all it was. And I said, we're going to fail if we do just this. We need to add the splash. We need to add that citrus. We need to add the little ice
cherry
cubes.
on the top.
Exactly. The cherry on top of the whipped cream to your favorite ice cream. It has to be something. And I work full time. And there's this book. You probably had it at your house. There's this book about this fucking big. And it is La Guía Hispana.
Yeah. Like, las páginas amarillas.
Las páginas amarillas. I looked at the book and I said, I never want to see that book again. And then something hit me and I said, nobody has a Latin directory or a directory in a mobile app. And that's when Oye Latinos just went up, because I said, we are going to be now the ultimate plug with entertainment mixed in, because Latinos love music.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing podcasts, which is amazing. Shout out to everybody that's doing podcasts. Respect you guys. So this whole pandemic shifted what is the greater of Oye Latinos. And I like I said, for me, not against anybody or anybody that's listening, but for me, the pandemic was a blessing.
Same.
I feel like I've learned so much about myself, and it's expressed ideas that I couldn't do before because I don't stop.
Yeah, it's allowed us to just calm down.
And enjoy things.
Yeah, and take a look at all the areas of our life. I have it here on my Kanban board: business, personal development, physical, relationships, spiritual, financial, lifestyle, and family.
Yeah.
And you can just breathe in.
Exactly.
And at least take a couple minutes to see like what I really want. And I'm glad you included that on the app, because now the community feels more engaged, not just the people who already knew you.
Exactly. This is bigger than Nico P. And that's what I love about this project, because like you said, the mom and pop shops, like there was a whole plan to this. I had to readjust it because of the pandemic. But again, I'm gonna say this, but the hate in Toronto is unbelievable, and I really wanted to fucking stop. Like I want to be that bridge And as much as, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like me. I know this. I don't know why. You know, I read up on it, and it's probably because you're jealous, or you wanted to do what I did. Like I stopped a lot of things in my life to do what I did. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of family moments, family birthdays, trips that I skipped out on because of who I am. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that people don't know about somebody. So if you have something or you have a dream and you got time for it, whether it's after your full-time job, like me nowadays, I go to work from 10 a.m. Well, I wake up at 8:30. 8:30 to 8 p.m. That's 12 hours of my day that I go to work full-time. After work, that's when I put in my other work until 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I go home, I sleep, power nap, and keep going. That's my life. And that's my life now in the pandemic. So imagine doing that, DJing, MCing, doing weddings, doing festivals, doing all this social media shit. I don't know, not for anything, but it cheers to you if you do it, if you do what I do, man.
No, you're relentless is the word to describe you, man. Now you're even on. You've always been on radio.
Yeah.
I see you on Instagram playing. You're on Twitch.
Yes.
Where do we see you? Where actually the question should be like, where are you not at right now?
Yeah, where am I not? I'm definitely not at your house playing live. No, man. Honestly, when the pandemic hit, I have goals for myself and then for my businesses.
Same.
For example, a lot of people don't know this, but because I'm such a go-getter, I needed to replace the funds that I was losing from the nightclubs. So I'm not DJing and getting paid for it. The initial process of the pandemic entertainment was, I don't want to lose what Nico P created. So how do I keep going? And long story short, I already had all the equipment because I was going to do a video podcast. I had that equipment for 2 years.
No way.
I just didn't have time to do the video podcast.
Yeah.
So I had this equipment sitting in a box, and I said, perfect. Boom. This is my chance to use that equipment that I bought that I never had because it's full of dust and the pandemic, and I'm going to be the guy to watch during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be a fucking month.
Me too.
And I'm like, boom, bang out 4 weeks. After those 4 weeks, people are going to call me and say like, yo, Nico, thank you for the pandemic DJing. I appreciate that. I'm going to party with you because you were loyal to me. You know what I mean? Again, there's a lot of moves that I make because they're strategic. So how do I not lose my name? How do I stay talked about? How do I keep people entertained? Because what the fuck are you doing at home when you don't, like, you've never experienced this?
Yeah.
And in the beginning of the pandemic, I had almost 1,200 people tune in, which is a blessing because there's people that never came out to clubs, but they knew who I was, or they had some sort of connection with me, or they crossed paths with me, and they were enjoying it in the comfort of their homes. You know what I mean? So I had that. I had the equipment. I did this. I had Oye. Which Oye, again, I told the guys from Oye, I said, it's either I do it myself or we do it with Oye and we build the brand. So we did it together. And then from there, it was just nonstop, man. Like pandemic, just done. And we are here now where we are today. So even Carlos tells me because I do so much, I tend to forget sometimes about my brand. And my brand, I feel more, responsible for it for myself, right? Because I feel like my brand is, Nico P, which is the guy that you met when I was, 14, 15. So as much as I love Oye, and Oye is my baby and my project, I can't forget about Nico P. So man. So I do both.
It happens to me, like Stephan Dyer comedy versus Malpensando.
Yeah.
And it's been a blessing, the pandemic, because I've been able to pursue things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was touring, traveling, only shows, and just teaching. And at the same time, it's been a blessing because, and I know that I'm privileged because I'm healthy, and I've been healthy the whole year, which is a huge blessing and my family's been healthy as well. So in some ways I recognize that, but I'm so happy that it happened because once we go back to the normal or the new normal, whatever it is, I'm going to have the business that I built through the pandemic,
Exactly.
including the online courses that we teach for Malpensando,
Amazing.
and everything that we used to do before.
Yeah, it's honestly for me, it's gonna be just triple the work because now you're on the go. No,
Yeah.
for real. Because I mean, I have all these projects. I have Oye, I have Nico P. I'm somewhat a brand ambassador for Carlos. Because I want to see everybody winning, man. I want to see my circle winning. So I try to open my doors for everybody. This is why Oye Latino is so important for me because I'm about the community, man.
Yeah.
I'm about pushing people forward. I even tell people like, if you want to learn something that I do, I'll teach. But
Aren't you teaching DJing to Carlos?
no, not to Carlos, man. To India. I'm teaching to India.
yeah,
his
to
daughter.
India.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carlos,
yeah.
no way he can stand behind
I had
that.
it on the notes. But it was Carlos' daughter.
Carlos's daughter. Yeah, see, but again, I teach I teach for it not to be cool. I teach it because you have a passion for it. Not for anything. And if you anybody that's listening, you're interested. I don't teach it to be a cool thing. I meet you, I talk to you. And it's not, again, I don't want anybody to take it personal. It's not because I'm wasting my time, but I just feel like I have so much knowledge in my head, and I want the same drive that I have. And it's difficult to find, you know what I mean? Like some people don't know that they have that music motivation. It took me a while to understand the music and the entertainment motivation that I have in my body. So even DJing classes, like where do I fit all this shit in? Like it's incredible. So
and not it's not the fact that you're an asshole or that somebody has to be as passionate as you. Is that because you're doing so many things?
Yeah.
An additional thing has a huge opportunity cost.
Yes.
Because you could be putting that into Oye or Itz Nico P or Twitch or your other ventures. Yeah. So one of the things that I've started doing more, and because I study high performers a lot, is saying no.
Yeah.
Just focusing, and obviously not being an asshole when I say no, but just focusing. Yeah. Now I want to ask you the typical champagne question that we ask all the guests to close off every episode. I know that you're used to the champagne because you're celebrating everything in life all the time at parties, events, and the champagne question goes like this. If we were to meet a year from now, 2022, with a bottle of champagne, what are we celebrating in Nico P's life?
Wow, that's a wicked question. A year from today, I would say the success of my baby Oye Latinos, because I'm not going to stop until it's the greatest app in Canada. And my vision for the application and for anybody that owns a business is to bridge that gap from that Guia book to the palm of your hand. And as our slogan says, it's the Latin community in the palm of your hand.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So it's like you can't be more connected than having an app on your phone. Everybody has a phone. People don't even use computers now. Like everything is on your phone. So a year from today, I'd be celebrating the success and the building still of the future of Oye Latinos, because I already have in my head,
love it,
every single city in Canada is going to be on this application. It will be a drop-down menu. So wherever you're from, you're going to be able to click, see the businesses, see the DJs that are in your city, play the podcast. Everything will be distinguished by city.
I love it.
And that's where I see myself 1 year from today.
Oh, that's so great. If a member of the community, like a realtor or a mom and pop shop, want to be included in the Oye Latinos app, do they send a DM to you on Instagram or Oye Latinos, or what's the process? So
the process is directly with Oye Latinos, or if you have me already on Instagram, it's Nico P, shameless plug, ITZNICOP. You can send me a message, Send me a message, or you can send an email to business@oyelatinos.com. That's Oye Latinos with an S. Don't forget the S. Again, it's a Latin directory available to anybody. Mom and pop shops, we're trying to help out everybody in the pandemic. We do have a special price right now, just to get people on board to believe in it. I had 100%. I had a lot of people. I presented the app, which were investors in the beginning. They kind of banked on their investment because now I made a deal with them. A couple of years for free, this and that. But they believed in the process. So now that it's out, we do have an amazing price. It's $100 a year. That's like less than $8 a month.
That's incredible.
It's $100 plus tax.
And thousands of people have the app already. It's been growing.
Yeah, we're already almost 2,500 plus downloads.
Incredible.
On all platforms. So
in such a short time, it's impressive, man.
It's an amazing. So shout out to you. If you did not download it now.
Yeah.
If you have Apple, all permissions are already granted because Apple doesn't care about you or your feelings or anything that you have in permissions. So Apple, you're good. But if you do have an Android and you want to experience the full application, you need to give it full permission.
You need to buy an iPhone.
Pretty much, buy an iPhone. No, if you have a Samsung or any Android device, you need to give it full permissions to enjoy the full application. Like you said, the music, the business.
Yes.
And our slogan, music, business, and culture, the Latin community in the palm of your hands.
I love it, man. Nico, you are a go-getter, man. You're a visionary. You're an incredible member of this community. I appreciate everything you're doing.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. This is like my first official all-around Itz Nico P interview, and I'm so glad that you were able to do it.
Yeah, man.
I love the fact that you asked me questions that not the typical questions, and that you asked me about my life, because that's who I am today. Nobody sees it, but this is many years in the making, and I still got many more to go. Shout out to everybody around me. And if you want to meet me or connect with me, I am open book, man. Let's work. Let's bring this community together, because I fully believe that we are probably the worst city in helping each other out. Like, New York is better than us, and there's millions of people there. There's so much hate in Toronto. There's so much jealousy. This shit needs to stop, because we need to help each other, especially now during the pandemic. It's crazy. And it's very sad, the amount of people that put their life savings into a dream. Mom and pop shops, restaurants, whether it was creating a business or whatever the case may be. Keep your head up, keep going, don't stop. Like, that's the way I think about it. Don't let anything take you down. Just keep going. Just do what you got to do.
I agree. The Italians, the Portuguese, the Jewish, the Greeks are so much more united than us as a community. So I really appreciate what you're doing, what Carlos is doing, what Oye Latinos App is doing, and I'm really grateful to have you here. I wanted to have you because, as you know, the Stephan Dyer podcast welcomes people with remarkable stories for amazingly vulnerable conversations, and this was just that. Stephan Dyer, Nico P on the Stephan Dyer podcast.
Thank you.
Nos vemos. Ciao, ciao.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, make sure you subscribe to the Stephan Dyer podcast on YouTube.
Gracias por escuchar el Stephan Dyer podcast. Arrivederci, my people.